Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann, and with me today is...
Number one fan, Tim.
I have had a run of odd Tuesday luck the last few, and I hinted to you about the Juice's gymnastics performance on the phone earlier. So here's what happened. Tuesdays were gymnastics class before it ended, and a few weeks ago she had the final one. It was their, quote, performance. But this is just community ed.
Yeah.
Athletics, so it's not like there's any big how-to-do about what they're doing, what they're wearing, what they're learning. I mean, it's just simple somersaults, token rolls on some weird fucking jumpy shit. And so I show up to the school where they have it. I barely get in the door, and
the beast
is already up my ass. Right? Traffic was shit. I think we got stopped by a fucking train. Plus, there was a left turn lane light that was pissing me off because it would give about 3 cars through each cycle. And there were 10 cars deep.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I was already like pushing it. And I'm like, fuck.
Can I just add, you seem to do an awful lot with the Beast, even though I know you don't enjoy it. But it's like, is there a way you could do this stuff without her being there? Because it won't ruin your night so much?
Well, this was on my days. So the Juice and Chi-Chi were with me. And the Beast was going to come to the performance because, you know, the kid needs support. So I couldn't avoid her tonight. But right when we get in the door, come on, everybody's waiting for you. Meaning the Juice. Mm-hmm. I'm like, go. We get around the corner. She's like, really? That's what you fucking dressed her in? I didn't know that I had to put her in anything special.
What was she wearing? Just shorts and a t-shirt?
No, she was wearing regular, like, stretchy, long pants and a shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I get the business from the Beast on that. And then we go and sit in the gym. They weren't necessarily waiting on her. They were lining the kids up. They didn't even start the performance for, like, almost 8 minutes after I got there. And it's not because the Juice was late. It's because they were going over a couple of things with the girls. And the one boy.
She really likes to make mountains out of molehills, doesn't she?
Yeah, and then we sat down, and I forget, she made some other fucking snide comment. And just right out there, in front of a bunch of other parents, I'm like, boy, I can't wait for you to not be pregnant anymore and start taking your medication so you could be less of a bitch all the time. I didn't want there any appearances to reflect that maybe we were just like a fighting couple. We're not a couple. And at that point, she was like 8.5 months pregnant.
Oh, it's getting close now, isn't it?
Oh, no, she had it a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there.
All right.
So the performance starts, some kids go, they all line up, some other shit, then they're going to do their first activity, going down the mat, and the Juice is shorter compared to a lot of these kids. It takes a good 5 minutes before it's her turn. And I'm still sitting there next to the Beast. She was sitting away from me. Then she comes and moves up higher because Chi-Chi wants to sit by Daddy. So we're all sitting there. And they're fighting over whether or not Chi-Chi gets to eat her candy cane right now. And I'm just like, this is fucking terrible. I don't want to be here right now. So we get up to the Juice's turn. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Time to put it to practice. She gets up there. She puts her arms up. She goes forward, tuck and roll. Goes to stand up, puts her arms up, does another somersault. Sits there. She sits up from the somersault. Just like flat-legged, like the letter L. And then she just does this. She just hangs her head. I'm like, fuck.
She forget what she was supposed to do?
Nope. She starts crying and says, I don't want to do this. They are all watching me. Here's the thing. She hates to be filmed. She knows everybody's got cameras on their phone that are recording, not just taking pictures.
You mentioned once before a while ago she doesn't like being filmed.
Which during her preschool graduation ceremony, they were all supposed to stand up and sing a song. The song started getting going, And she noticed all these fucking smartphones up. And then she just furrowed her brow and looked down at her feet and put her arms at her sides like she was pissed off. And she just stood there the whole time, just glaring at the floor. And then afterwards, we're like, what are you doing? Why did you not sing? I don't like being recorded. The school district's policy on cameras came into question because, you know, here's people recording this gymnastics thing. You can take pictures, but now everybody has video capabilities right there. It's murdered the camcorder market. So we're standing there, and she walks up to the bleachers to us and starts crying into the beast's shoulder. Well, apparently the entire walk to the bleachers, some fucking jackwagon is recording it like it's hilarious to him.
Oh.
And apparently his wife gave him a shove to knock it off. I didn't see it. 3 minutes after the cry fit finally ended, the beast says something to me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That fucking pervert over there that likes to get his jollies from recording little girls crying. I'm like, who? The guy over there. She doesn't point to a guy. She does what the beast always does in social situations like this. She makes a complete ass out of herself by talking way too loud on purpose and then being just a rage machine. Well, I don't see why anybody would ever fucking do that. It's not funny. God, you're going to mess a little kid up. And she just keeps making comments. That fucking pervert over there that likes to watch little kids cry so much. We got through the entirety of the program. It was 3 parts long. It lasted for 35 minutes. The teachers kept trying to coax her back out of the bleachers. In hindsight, what I could have done to go like viral would to be when she starts crying, to just like, instead of sitting there like, oh shit, I should just got up and walked to the mat and stood her up. I'm like, come on, I'll do it with you. Let's just do it. And then I just start doing somersaults. Yeah. I had been to all but one fucking gymnastics practice. I knew the shit they were doing. It was not hard by any stretch of the imagination. They're 6, 7, and 8-year-olds. So the program's over, and she keeps talking about like, okay, so you have mentioned numerous times about some guy that was recording her crying. Where the fuck is he? Well, it was that guy over there. I'm like, you keep saying that guy over there. If over there means to the right, there are 60 fucking parents in this room right now. Do you think you could narrow it down? Well, that guy over by the door with his wife. I'm like, thanks. Cool. Hold this. What? Oh, shit. I start walking away. She's like, I shouldn't have told you. Walked right up to the sumbitch. It was him and his fat, floppy fucking wife and his 2 kids. His fat, stupid son and his daughter. That was one of the 3 kids that actually wore a leotard to class. And he's just standing there, fucking down, reading something. So I just stood there and stared at the side of his face for, it seemed like 10 seconds. I'm sure it was only 3 or 4. But he's like, could I help you? So I'm just like, I don't appreciate the way that you apparently seem to think that my kid having a meltdown is entertainment for you. It's bad enough that she's having a bad night over this, but then you got to turn it into a fucking public spectacle for your own amusement. Why don't you get a better hobby, you fucking creep? And as soon as one of the teachers for the class, I think she might be 19, 20. She's like, we're not going to do this here. This is community gymnastics. And she's saying that, he's like, my advice to you is to walk away.
That was his advice?
That was his advice. This guy is a scrappy little fucking moron who maybe weighed 160 pounds. He's my same height. He had a really stupid beard. And he had a haircut like he goes and sits on the rocket ship at Kids Cuts still.
Okay. I think I'm getting an image here.
And then it was like reddish brown hair. He's pale as shit. And I just look at him like, the fuck are you going to do, Junior? And I just started backing away with my arms up like, come on. And then his wife walks up to him and starts saying something, and they're gone. And I was praying to Christ he'd be out in the hallway. I really fucking wanted to. I'm like, I started unbuttoning my flannel shirt.
Getting ready for a throwdown.
And the beast is like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, if that motherfucker's out there, this baby's coming off, and we are going to show him what I learn on Mondays while he's sitting on his duff with his phone in the gyms here on Tuesdays. It's not like I go places looking for a fight, but That's fucking ridiculous. It's one thing if you see crying kids on the internet. Sometimes it's funny, like if they know they're being filmed, but in like a gymnasium full of children and somebody's doing it to the point where his wife had to nudge him to stop.
Yeah, he's probably over there. It's like, ooh, look at this. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I'm just like, you're a stupid cunt. So then we left, and the girls went home with
The Beast.
that night because my nights were over, and then I went to work.
You got to be kidding me.
Hello?
She had the baby on the 30th.
Ugh.
She had the baby on the 30th, so she wouldn't have it on her birthday, which is today.
Oh, did she went in and did she go a C-section?
She did have a third C-section, so she is officially partially dead from the waist
I was
down.
going to say, that can't be good 3 times in a row.
Whatever, I don't have to deal with it.
Well, I'm just, in general, for the public, not for her, I give a shit about her.
If it went from not looking great to completely grotesque after this, it's not my doing. It's Loverboy's.
Well, it's not.
But part of why she did it was, I don't want to share my birthday.
Okay, greedy cunt. I'm sorry, that come
Yeah.
out.
Well, no, your greedy cunt was a bit premature because reason number 2, well, for tax purposes, I want it to be on this year's taxes.
Excuse me?
Because if she has it in 2017, she would have to give some of the money to Loverboy. Because he's behind on his taxes. He owes Uncle Sam money for not filing for 3 years.
What?
Right.
Oh, God, this is just...
So she was a basket case the night before because she always is like, if I die, you have to promise that they know how much I love them. Every time she thinks she's got something going on, you know. She has tenderness down in her pubic region, and she's worried that she has a fucking ovarian cyst that could burst and it's cancerous. Thank you, WebMD. She's like, if I have cancer and I die, you'll tell them about me, won't you? I'm like, oh, I'll fucking tell them all about you.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Just
yeah.
like when my boy's good enough to know all about their mother.
Right. So, she goes, she gets cut open. They pull the kid out. He sends me a picture I'm going to show you right now for the first time.
That kid looked really unhappy.
Here's the Dirty Bees comment on that picture. Wow, that kid looks like it already hates its life. She forwarded it to her friend and her friend's boyfriend. And the boyfriend came up with, that look you make when you realize that
The Beast
and Loverboy are your parents.
That's accurate.
I can best describe this photo, and this is what I said to the Beast in text. I'm like, what is up with that baby's expression? What do you mean? It kind of looks like your mom if she was sneezing after her 10th chemo treatment.
Oh.
She's like, really? I'm like, well, don't fucking look like you. I have since seen other pictures.
Mm-hmm.
The kid kind of looks like Chi-Chi a little bit. That nose, that's all deceptive. That's like the second they pulled that sumbitch out the womb, gave it a slap or whatever, and it was about to start crying.
Yeah, I didn't really look to see if there's any resemblances, but...
I figured it looked more like Loverboy, which would have been hilarious.
I don't even remember what the Beast looks like, so... And I don't need to know. I'm just saying.
Imagine like a third-rate, trashy, half-strung-out Princess Jasmine because of her half-Israeli blood. So Princess Jasmine's like the most gorgeous Disney princess to me.
Me too.
I like well-groomed Middle Eastern women. They're very attractive to me.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
At least the ones you can see that aren't wearing a fucking set of curtains around their body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like that. There was appeal before. But then I found out what she was like.
Yeah.
And there was no whole new world.
Oh, it was. It's just a hellish one.
No, then it became you ain't never had a friend like me. And I'm like, fuck. Why couldn't you just be a blue genie instead of a brownish cunt? Baby comes out, cords wrapped around its neck 3 times.
Oh.
Not tightly. Not choking it. Mind you.
Did it have its hands on either end?
I don't fucking know.
Just do me now.
Just pull. Yeah, it didn't have the dexterity to give a yank. Since then, the kid has had a feeding tube put in its nose because it wasn't eating enough. It came out underweight because she had it early. Which I was like, well, that's what you get for smoking the whole pregnancy and then having an early dumb-down.
I was going to say, how much early did she
2
have
weeks.
it? Ugh. Okay, yeah, that whole tax is just now really looking real bad. I mean, if it's just a couple of days, they'd be like, well, whatever, but...
The doctor said in hindsight it's good she had it early because had they waited 2 weeks and the baby had gone into breach, that cord thing could have been a major snafu.
Oh, when I was born, I guess I came out blue because the cord was wrapped around my neck.
Yeah, but you came out of your mom's hoo-ha.
Yeah, I wasn't a C-section.
Yeah, I was. I think it's a well-known fact that they cut me from my mother's womb. I wanted no part of the exit. And then this kid 2 days ago has a couple of apnea episodes. Apnea episodes. Take a guess at what that means.
Apnea, holy shit. I've heard that. I can't remember, though.
The kid stopped breathing twice.
Okay.
Once on the table when they were changing it, and once in Loverboy's arms. So now the kid has to stay an extra week at the hospital. And I'm not saying that like, ha 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 ha, there's something wrong with your kid. I'm just stating facts.
Yeah. Mrs. Number One thinks I have apnea. Sleep apnea.
You ever just stop breathing and
She says I do, but I don't know. I think I sleep like a rock. Usually.
I normally do too, which leads me to part 3 of this.
Okay.
Because it's Tuesday.
I just love how this is getting better and better.
It's the Beast's birthday. I am laying in bed. I am in a fucking coma. I was resting awesomely. Was going to sleep, get up 4 or 5. You didn't go that route. Because I get this. I'm like, I'm coming. Oh shit, I'm coming.
I never touched her.
Right? Because normally she would go and bang on the window on the door of the back patio. And I told her, I'm like, 1, don't, because I'm less likely to hear you. 2, that's thinner glass. You're fucking going to break it in winter. And 3, if you want my attention, gently knock on the bedroom window. Because I'm in the bedroom. My house is long. It's shaped like the letter I.
Yeah.
And when I first told her to do that weeks ago, she's like, I'm not going to traipse through the fucking snow. I'm pregnant. I'm like, you're not going to
deep right now.
You're not going to fucking be pregnant forever. I'm like, there's 4 inches of snow. Walk under the overhang, dum-dum. It ain't like you're marooned on the ice planet Hoth, so just please do as I ask. She woke me up because she dropped the juice off at school for the first day after break, and no sooner does she drop her off does she get a phone call from the nurse. You need to come and pick up your daughter. She has pink eye. Yeah. And the reason that she's knocking on my bedroom window like that, do you have the new insurance cards? No. Well, I need them. I just fucking told you I don't have them.
I haven't even gotten mine yet.
Right. Because they eliminated our insurance plan. Yeah,
wait a minute, was it?
I had to go to one of the Aware plans because they eliminated the all-encompassing expensive one that was like the, what do you call it, the high deductible.
I never looked at them.
I don't know. Basically, I paid $5.15 a month for family medical, and now I'm paying. Yes, I went for the expensive one because I knew that I'd be
So
paying
you'd
it
have
all
the
up
smaller
front.
everything, yeah.
I paid more up front and less for copays and medications.
Okay, yeah.
And now I'm on some plan where it's like max out of pocket $4,000 a year, but your employer pays the first 2 G's.
Yeah, I'm on that plan. I like that plan.
Do you?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got more chitlins than I do, but I'm sure that you and Mrs. Number One Fan don't run to the fucking doctor every time there's a snivel or a cough or an earache.
She used to. Even for herself.
Just snap her into reality?
I think she's just finally came to realize that kids are going to get a cold. Kids are going to run a random fever. It happens. Although at any time one of the kids started getting sniffles or had a low temperature, it's like, I should take them to the doctor. I was like, just see what happens for a day, all right? Just work with me on this. And that was back when we had this super expensive insurance through her work, which was like, I think it was $600 a month and $7,500 out of pocket for the year. And her company didn't cover any of it. So when I researched the insurance here where we work, I saw this plan. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. And what I did is when we got our tax return, I put $2,000 aside into its own account so that when the first share of the employer's deductible was up and it was our chance for our $2,000, we already had it.
Nice.
I didn't even go through all of it. I still got $1,000 of it.
Oh, good for you.
I hope that I have the same problem. But, however, yeah, like you said, sometimes, and this is going to sound very sexist, women have a tendency to panic easy and then want to run to the doctor with the kids. And I'm like, here, let me save you a trip. It's viral. They're not going to give her any antibiotics. You just got to let it run its course, push fluids, and rest. It's not always like that. No, like the last 6 fucking times it's like that. Even when I was so sick, I couldn't believe it that I finally fucking broke down and went, it's viral. You got to let it run its course. We're not going to give you antibiotics. Push fluids and rest.
Yeah. And I don't know how many times Mrs. Number One Fan was told that. And I think she finally came to grips with reality that I actually might have been right. Because It happened to me all the time when I was a kid. I would run a random fever for like 2, maybe 3 days. And all my mom and dad ever did was give me a blanket, a can of condensed Campbell's soup, and said the water's in the sink.
Perfect.
And it worked every time.
It might take more than one can of soup. Unless you just
I would only eat like a half a can at a meal.
Fuck, that's why.
I'd eat regular breakfast cereal, and then for lunch I'd eat the soup, and then might eat it for dinner. Otherwise, sometimes my mom would make dinner. I mean, it happens, but I had soup, you know? It's like, and I got left home alone most of the time for that too, even when I was 8, 9, 10 years old.
There's nobody there for you, huh?
Well, they were just a phone call away. And a half-hour drive.
You're fine. Go back to bed.
And that, you know, that's how parenting was back then.
That's how parenting should be. So the reason she needs the new insurance cards, she goes to the pharmacy to pick up the fucking eye drops. Well, it's going to be $26 out of pocket if you don't have your insurance cards.
Ooh.
Because she's got the old ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, hang on. There's double coverage. And this is what I said to her after she left, because I didn't have anything. When she was leaving, I'm like, go check my mailbox. If they're there, grab them. If not, sorry for you. Because she's like, well, are you going to pay half? I'm like, half of I've already been paying their portion of $515 a month for the last 3 fucking years.
As far as I'm concerned, she would be responsible for that cost.
Well, I'm not working. I'm like, I'm sorry to be cold here, but too bad. I didn't knock you up. Christ. So I call her. I'm like, hang on. They have double coverage. So whatever my insurance doesn't cover, your insurance should cover. Did you say that to the guy? Well, I said it to the girl because now you're really going to hate me. I went back there to bitch about it. And the lady handed me the envelope and said there was no cost anyway.
What the fuck?
So the first fucking guy, she didn't even sit there and get the specifics. She did what she always did. Made a decision based on emotion and then dipped the fuck out in anger. She gets mad and she gets tunnel vision and she doesn't fucking think of other ways of explaining what she means because she's terrible with English. Cases in point. If anything's remotely cool or cold, it's freezing. If the bath temperature is not scalding to the point where the skin's almost falling off you like it's a goddamn rib roast, it's freezing. There was a time when the juice was just learning how to sit up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had her sitting on the floor at our apartment. I sat her up, and I was sitting there with her, and she was kind of slunched over. She starts to fall back. I just want to reiterate, we are on the floor. No one is holding the juice. The juice is sitting on the carpeted floor.
Mm-hmm.
She tips backwards. I dive forward. I catch her head in my hands like this, and then it hits the carpet. She tipped back maybe 9, 10 inches.
Mm-hmm.
In total, and I had caught her. Now, given it's concrete with the thin pad and carpet over it, but you also had my hands there. She got scared and started crying. So here's the beast. You dropped her! Oh my God, we got... Long story short, she calls the fucking ER charge nurse to ask her if we should bring the baby in because I dropped her.
God, you know, I can already tell you what those people say.
I looked at her and I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? We show up and you say I dropped the baby, they're going to take one look at you and see us fighting, and then they're going to call CPS, you stupid sniz.
I will hate you until the day I die.
Like, I didn't drop her. She fucking tipped over. I'm saying all this while she's still on the phone. Because I want this charge nurse to know just what a goddamn dingbat she's dealing with.
Yeah.
So, once again, but you dropped her. I'm like, I didn't fucking drop her. How can you drop something you're not holding? She's on the ground. She tipped onto said ground. Yes.
God, that woman.
Yes, god damn it. You know,
sounds a lot like my ex, honestly, because she'd do the same shit. Like, when was...
when your 13-year-old.
When the 13-year-old was a baby, anytime. Even Mrs. Number One fan, just like, oh, I better call the nurse helpline and give off the, yeah, there's runny nose. Yep, and there's a slightly high temp. Yeah, a little fidgety. Feels a little warm. Yeah, you should bring him in. They always want you to bring him in.
Well, they're just saying, well, if it was me, I'd bring him in. You want to know why? Because they don't get paid to tell you to stay at home.
Yeah.
They make money off of treating people.
I always thought the nurse's hotline was a stupid-ass thing.
Well, plus, it sounds like it's a relatively typically from each of these examples, minor thing that you go there and they're not going to rush you in.
No.
All right. The only way you get rushed in, and here's another story of
The Beast.
and this is after we split up, when she was living with Loverboy in that old apartment. A few months after she moved in, I get a phone call. So the girls, not the Juice and Chi-Chi and her friend's daughter of the same age were playing on the kitchen floor. Opened a cabinet, picked up a jar of baby food, and it fell on the tile and broke. It wasn't up high, it was at ground level.
Mm-hmm.
There was no child lock on the cabinet.
What's the significance?
Genius.
Right. So you have a child that's barely learning to crawl, and you're keeping glass jars down on the ground level. Well, I think that she had some of the baby food on her hands, and I'm worried she might have eaten a shard of glass. Oh, go fuck yourself so hard. Are you serious? I'm like, I swear to God, if we go there and there's glass in her and she needs to have fucking esophageal surgery to fix this shit, you will never see these kids again. We will be in court inside of a week. I don't care if I have to bankrupt myself. I will keep you from them. You fucking stupid cunt.
Yeah.
And we get there and we go in. I think my baby swallowed glass. And as we're walking in, I said this to the nurse. I'm like, I would just like to point out that we are separated and this happened at her residence, not under my watch. So if you call anybody to investigate, she is the sole person to be questioned.
Make that announcement. Yes, I like that.
And then the nurse kind of looked at me like, what the fuck? And the Beast gave me this icy glare. Now is not the time. I'm like, oh, I think it's very much the fucking time. Because we're back in a special section of the ER now. We're not in the regular ER. We're behind the locked doors ER. That's just a hallway away from where they lock up the first instance of 72-hour hold crisis people. Because there's two parts to the ER at the local hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're in one of those rooms. They had to do a fucking x-ray on her.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in there. The doctor's like, well, what happened? And I told him, like, can you just please for me note that this happened at her apartment under her watch. This is not at my residence. And she was keeping the glass baby food jars unlocked in a ground level cabinet. This happened due to negligence, not just gravity. And he's like, okay. The motherfucker never put it in there because I went and got a copy of the goddamn report when we were going to get our lawyers for the custody agreement. I thought it would say that. I had to even fucking complain to the hospital that the son of a bitch didn't mention it. I'm like, he doesn't have to assess blame, but he didn't put in the part that the kid got into a ground level cabinet that was unlocked, broke open a glass jar, and possibly swallowed glass. That's the most damning contextual information that really makes the story a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I got an appeal from letter of appeal from the doctor. Like, well, I didn't see that needed to be put in. It wasn't part of a medical
I don't care.
diagnosis.
I told you to put it in. You're working for me, asshole.
Jesus Christ. So if a kid comes in and, his dad was drunk, if one of us would have been under the influence, you bet your ass it would have been in there. Kid goes out back to play around the fire pit and he pours gas on a fire and burns off his face. Well, his dad was inside drunk. Why were you watching your kid? I was inside the house. Well, where was the gas can? In the shed. Was it locked? No. Okay, well, congratulations. You now have a CPS case.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid cunt.
Fucking stupid.
So, gymnastics is over. I guess it's going to start again soon. Her teacher was so nice. Like, they made desperate attempts on multiple parts of, like I said, of the program to get her back out there to encourage her. I'm like, baby, come on. Your teacher's going to go with you. You don't have to be scared. Everybody put their cameras away. And now I'm thinking, I wonder if everybody's going to come back. I wonder if I'm going to have to fucking see this guy.
You'll recognize him, won't you?
I'll recognize him,
like
but I don't know if he's going to come up to me. You have to be really ready for all hell to break loose, to be confrontational like I am at times. But that's because not like I like to be a tough guy and puff my chest out. I'm not peacocking about in places when shit goes down. I'm comfortable communicating my feelings when I'm pissed off. And I'll walk up to anybody and tell them how I feel. I don't fucking care. Maybe I get shot in the face one day. Well, at least you know what was on my mind. And now look at the floor. You can see my mind. So maybe I see him and maybe I don't. And if he comes up to apologize, here's in my head how it goes. One of two ways. He's really quiet and he doesn't say shit.
Yeah,
or
hides in
two,
the corner like a little bitch.
Or two, he comes up to say he's sorry. He starts like, hey, I just want to apologize. I'm going to go, stop right there. You can fuck off. It's not about an apology because you're apologizing because you feel bad because I got in your face, not because you see the folly of your behavior. So if you really were the kind of person that knew that what you're doing was wrong, the way you're trying to apologize, you wouldn't have done it in the first fucking place. So kindly go sit across the gym like you always do and stare into your phone like the useless twat that I've seen you be.
Yeah, when I go to stuff like that, the only kid I film, if I film at all, is mine.
Right.
I don't care what other kids are doing. I really don't care.
I didn't see how it started, so maybe he started filming her the second she had the crying meltdown. I don't know.
Which, again, that's just fucking...
It's rude is what it is. It's like, are you really that excited to put a video up on your Facebook page of my kid crying? Because I'm pretty sure that the cops aren't going to think anything of it if I walk up to you, grab your phone, and whip it across the fucking wall into a million pieces. I'm going to go, oh, the wind took it because, he was interfering with my child's privacy in a school building where there is a policy against cameras filming. And he didn't have my permission to film my child.
Yeah, I noticed something like that at my kid's school. There's on the wall something about photography policy.
Right. Because of people, there's all this hullabaloo over who is the legal owner of a picture you take with your phone in a public place. Even if it's a public school, I don't think that you can just take pictures of kids. They get really fucking uppity.
Well, no, yeah, because like when they do like prank videos and stuff like that, when you watch on YouTube and whatnot, you have to get release of the video images or footage or photos from the person that the pictures are of. Mm-hmm. It's what movie was it? Girl Next Door. There was a little snippet in there about signing a release so that we could use your image in the videos, whatever. And it's been talked about, all that stuff recently.
Who's the owner of it? And the lawyers are like, well, some people argue that whoever's taken the video owns it because it's their device. Well, right, but they're taking your picture without permission. Yeah, and that's why the paparazzi is always like public enemy number one with famous people. Because they could have a telephoto lens that gets you from a half a mile away while you're sunbathing in your villa in some fancy foreign country that has more relaxed laws. And who owns the photo? Well, here's a picture of so-and-so sunbathing topless. How the fuck you get that? Because I'm pretty sure she didn't invite you to take a picture of her tits.
Well, that's why, when you see the videos or photos or their faces are blurred out, it's because they don't have the right to release that. I believe, as it's written now, it's the property of the person that the photo is of. That's why when you go get your picture taken for wedding videos, when we had our wedding, mm-hmm. we had to sign a thing releasing our images to the photographer so she could develop and everything like that, and then we got them back.
Interesting.
Well, because it's ours.
Conversely, I'd like to thank whoever that photographer is that got those topless pics of Kirsten Dunst and Jennifer Lawrence.
There's nude pictures of Kirsten Dunst out there?
Jesus Christ. You could just rent the movie Melancholia and you can see her tits.
Well, I suppose. But
and you can, these are her tits and they are out there in all their moonlit glory. If you're going to see Kirsten Dunst's rack, you want to see it on a soundstage where they're emulating moonlight. Something about that just makes them pop.
I always had a crush on Kirsten Dunst, right when she did...
join the fucking club.
Right when she did Spider-Man.
It took you that long?
Well, it's a little bit before that, too, but Bring It On.
Bring It On. No, The Virgin Suicides is a movie you want to watch if you want to give yourself some spank-bang.
Never heard of it.
Material. It's not a feel-good movie of the year, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
It's in the title, The Virgin Suicides.
Okay. Well, I just...
Draw your conclusions. And the other thing about this is in relating to who owns the video and picture. I have gone to conferences multiple times because the Juice was in early education because of her speech delay. And you can hear her lateral lisp when she talks now still. She's working on it. It's getting better. But I went to conferences. I'm like, looking at the class photo. Oh, is that her friend so-and-so? And the teacher's like, well, unfortunately, I can't tell you that. You can't even fucking tell me the name of the kid in her goddamn class she's standing next to in the photo? Because of data privacy?
Well, and see there, I think it's a little extreme, but...
Jesus H. Christ. I mean, I can name every kid in my kindergarten picture still.
I looked at, how they used to do the class group photo? And my dad, I was looking at the one from when I was in first grade. And I was looking at the back of it, and my dad had tried writing the names of the students. And then all of a sudden, I remember Dad asking me, who's this kid? That's TJ. You know, it's like when
So you're just making shit up.
some of them
That's a third fucking TJ. What the hell's going on?
I couldn't remember most of the kids in the class. I didn't really talk to them. I was only in first grade for part of the year.
Oh.
I don't even want to. And so, like, I didn't remember the names when we got the photos, so I was just making shit up. And then when I look back at a couple of the kids, I did know the real names. And what was written on there isn't even close.
Way to go.
Yeah, well, just a little snippet.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping that gymnastics will be on Mondays coming up, so that it'll interfere with karate and then I don't have to go. But
The Beast
has 3 kids now, and she's got to contend with 2 work schedules. She swears she's only going to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and be okay financially.
It would not, yeah, no.
Plus, you know, you got Loverboy paying for his other 3 kids that are still under 18
Did you ever have to pay child support for that child?
for
The
the
new
one that she's pooping out.
The new spawn of the beast?
Well, it just came out, so I mean, I've told her before. I'm like, don't you dare ever fucking call the child support office and say you need more money from me, because I will say she is staying home and working less by choice, not to spend more time with her daughters, but to take care of her new daughter, who's not my kid. And I have called the child support office and run the scenario by them. And the jack wagon that I talked to is like, well, I mean, if there's like an income disparity and you make that much more money, she can always ask for more. I'm like, are you serious? So you're telling me that I might get stuck paying her more money so she can stay home and take care of his kid? That's awesome. You guys are great. You do a great public service. And I fucking hung up on him.
That's why I keep telling you, you go to court, get custody.
Jesus. Yeah, it's not that easy. They won't revisit it unless there's a major change in their lives that adversely affects
new
them.
baby.
Yeah, I got to wait a while on that one to make sure that it's like a complete goat rodeo so I can plead a case.
Fucking incredible.
But she always gets these lady lawyers that say, oh, all of his police reports he always claims he's going to bring in aren't going to mean shit. The judge won't even look. Does if I have to establish a pattern of behavior over several years that has not gotten better, it causes me concern over their well-being because of her constant drinking.
Yeah.
Derp.
You're killing me, Smalls.
That's just I think a lawyer telling her what she wants to hear.
Well, here's the thing about female custody lawyers. They are rotten, soulless harpies. They don't care about men's rights. They represent females on purpose because they're female, so they appeal to them emotionally, and then they treat it like a business transaction where I'm going to get you the best deal. Not what's in the best interest of the kids, I'm going to get you the best deal.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the fucking Apprentice, you stupid twat. This is somebody's kids' lives here, and we're trying to do what's best for the kids. No, you're trying to say that I don't deserve them this much. Oh, do the math of how much he actually has them. You should be getting X amount more money. Like I'm fucking robbing her blind. Am I living in the fucking Taj Mahal?
No.
We are recording in a room that doubles as a storage room for some of my dad's overflow tools, and it came with a workbench, so my tools are in here. There's a fucking bed blanket stapled to the rafters to muffle some of the sound, and that's what me and Danny did for acoustics on like a beer budget with champagne taste. There's my gas line. There's my water pipes.
There's your garden hose.
Oh, yeah, I'm living in the lap of luxury here. Plus, you know, we got that.
You got the kid gate with the plywood door for the cat, and then the door that's not even on hinges.
I have a door leaned up against a doorway to block the cat.
God f***ing damn it!
Interact with the show on Twitter at what do we call it? That is at what do we call it? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/what do we call it podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.